Good day everyone, especially to you Dr. Yaki Beer. I am Hanna Perocho from this HMTA. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss about the chapter 15 that tackles about the tourism and hospitality management education. So according to attorney Antonio Fontanilla, former human resources director of Century Park Hotel, Filipino workers are sought after in the global tourism industry. In order to increase the demand for Filipino tourism workers, competency in tourism and hospitality management education should be reinforced. So for the learning objectives, the first one is to differentiate schools abiding with laws from those that are not and tourism-related technical vocational programs, identify the requirements in the operation of the tourism or hospitality management program, and also identify the laws governing various issues in tourism and hospitality education. So for the topic outline of this topic, so the topic outline are showed on the screen. So let's go to the introduction. So the Philippines is home to over 300 schools offering both degrees and non-degree programs in tourism and hospitality management. Degree programs are regulated by the Commission on Higher Education, or the CHED, while non-degree or certificate programs are overseen by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or the TESDA. Annually, CHED recognized institutions produce an estimated 40,000 tourism and hospitality management graduates, while TESDA recognized training centers contribute around 10,000 graduates. So these growing numbers of graduates reflects on the increasing demand for skilled professionals in a dynamic field of tourism and hospitality in the country. So let's go to the topic. The first one is the curriculum. The curriculum of the Bachelor of Science of Tourism and the Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management programs of the different colleges and university around the country should be compliant with the CHED Memorandum Order number 31, the series of 2001. So in accordance with the pertinent provisions of the Republic Act number 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994, the following minimum curricular requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management and also the tourism are hereby adopted and promulgated by the Commission. So the government also encourages all higher education institutions to institutionalize the ladderized interface between the technological vocational education and training and higher education, which enables the students to earn certification at each year level of competency and secures them gainful employment. So according also to the section 4 of CMO 27 series of 2006, has identified 8 priority course programs for national implementation, and these include BS Tourism, BS Hotel and Restaurant Management, and also the BS Travel Management. So the changes in the curriculum in the BS Tourism and the BS HRM programs of the different colleges and universities should remain relevant to the needs of the global and local tourism industry in order to make the graduates employable. So to date, Filipino tourism and HRM graduates are among most in-demand hotel workers in the world. Approximately every 4 years, the curricula of the 2 course programs are updated by CHED upon recommendation of the technical panel for these courses, whose comprise experts in the industry and academia. The minimum curricular requirements consist of general education, where there are 51 units, and also for the hospitality management core, where there are 24 units, business education core 18 units, and also for major subjects 36 units, practicum 3 units, and also the physical education, where there's 8 units. So for the school laboratories and other CHED requirements, the grant of government recognition shall be based on full or the 100% compliance with the minimum requirements prescribed by CHED and the offering of a particular program or study, specifically in terms of faculty, library, laboratory, and administration. Schools offering BS HRM or hospitality management are required to have different kinds of laboratories, such as kitchen laboratory for food preparation, mock-up guest room for housekeeping, front office for simulation, mock-up restaurant and bar for food and beverage service. and a computer laboratory for computer subjects. So good because good laboratories aim to hone the practical skills of the students. So there are other things required by CHED, and these are the administration with at least master degrees and industry managerial experience, 25% subjects taught by teachers with master's degree and industry experience, and also at least 2,500 volumes of books accessioned in the library for permit and 5,000 for recognition, and also at least 1,000 square meters in floor area and adequate library space accommodating 15% of enrollment. So for schools seeking to operate for the first time of this HRM or HM program, they need to secure a government permit from CHED. After 1 or 2 years, they have to apply for government recognition so they can graduate their first batch of students within 4 years. One of the salient aspects of the instrument used by CHED is the section on CHED has now devolved the inspection of schools to the regional offices to the regional quality assessment teams. So schools are inspected by the members of the academy and industry experts. Inspectors look at the quality of equipment and machinery appropriate for industrial use, provisions for sanitation, safety and security, and conduciveness for learning. So let's go to the student practicum or apprenticeship. So in relation to CMO number 31 series of 2001, the minimum requirements for student practicum and based tourism and based HRM are 3 units, while a minimum 200 hours for each area of specialization. For HRM majors, at least 200 hours in hotel operations and another 200 hours in restaurant operations. So for school offering on International Practicum Training Program, CMO number 15 series of 2002 covers the implementing guidelines. So it is the policy of the Commission on Higher Education to encourage and promote strong academic linkage with industries for cross-cultural training and skills enhancement to ensure the attainment of skills, knowledge, and desirable attitudes that will make Filipino students globally competitive. In the pursuit of this policy, CHED establishment the International Practicum Training Program to make possible the practicum training of the undergraduate students in various companies, training institutions, and organizations in different parts of the world. The learning that students gain from this training will develop new competencies and skills, making them internationally competitive for employment here or abroad. So in view of keeping pace with the demand of global competitiveness, the Commission on or the CHED issues a list of training partners accredited by CHED for the International Practicum Training Program, where the heads of higher education institutions are enjoined to enter into agreements only training parties endorsed by CHED. So moreover, the program ensures that the students are carefully selected based on the required qualifications such as being at least 18 years old, currently enrolled in a practicum subject, having passed the pre-practicum requirements, and undergoing a pre-departure orientation seminar. So by offering clear requirements for the involved parties, including higher education institutions, training partners, and students, it ensures that the program succeeds and the students' professional development. So according to the Article 19, every person must in the exercise of his rights and in the performance of his duties act with justice and give everyone his due and observe honesty and good faith. While Article number 20, every person who, contrary to law, willfully or negligently cause damage to another shall indemnify the latter for the same. So this means in this Article 19 and 20. So Article 19 was intended to expand the concept of torts by granting the adequate legal remedies for a wide range of moral wrongs that might be difficult to predict and address specifically through such statutory law. So in civilized society, it is important that individuals can assume that others will not intentionally cause harm. So this expectation includes the notion that people will act with due care as judged by the common moral sense and understanding of the community, and that they will operate in good faith when interacting with others. So the ultimate concept of liability in this context is the idea of justifiable reliance, meaning that individuals are entitled to trust that others will behave in a reasonable and lawful manner within a civilized society. So in educational context, this principle stresses that schools and professors cannot be indifferent to their students' rights or welfare, just as students rely on educators and institutions for learning and development. Schools and professors must equally care for their students as their purpose and existence depend on fulfilling this duty. So the conscious difference of a person to the rights or welfare of others as seen on the failure of to uphold honesty and good faith constitute a moral and legal wrong that must be addressed. So let's go to the accreditation and the regulation of schools, where this section discusses the role of accreditation and the regulation in higher education institutions in the Philippines, governed by the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED. So accreditation is a process where an HEI is evaluated to determine whether it meets specific educational standards. Schools can voluntarily undergo accreditation to demonstrate that they meet or exceed these standards. So also the voluntary accreditation, so according to the Higher Education Act of 1994 or the Republic Act 7722, CHED encourages schools to attain quality education above the minimum requirements set by the government. So this voluntary accreditation helps HEIs improve their programs and gain recognition for meeting high educational standards. While the non-governmental character, so these are the accreditation is non-governmental, meaning it is not mandatory but serves as an option for school to demonstrate excellence. It also ensures that the process is independent and free from undue influence, promoting the integrity of the educational system. So let's go to the criteria for accreditation. So for schools to be granted accreditation, it must meet certain criteria that demonstrate the ability to provide quality education. So it needs the high quality instruction, community extension programs, research addition, faculty development, graduate performance, linkages with these other school, and also learning resources. So for the high quality instruction, the school must have competent faculty where it provides a strong education, community extension programs where school must engage with their communities through outreach activities and programs, research addition where a strong focus on research that enhances knowledge and contributes to the field, faculty development where continuous programs to help faculty improve and stay updated in their fields, graduate performance, linkages with other schools, and also learning resources, because a well-equipped library where there is a need, a well-equipped library and learning facilities are necessary for student success. Also the next one, the deregulation and accreditation status level. So for the level 3 accreditation, schools with this level of accreditation are given autonomy, meaning that they are not strictly supervised by the CHED and have the freedom to modify their curriculum. It also introduces new programs and make other educational changes without needing direct CHED approval. However, they must still meet the minimum educational standards. While the level 2 accreditation, so this level provides partial deregulation where the school has more flexibility than lower level schools. Like for example, it can modify its curriculum and programs but must still inform CHED of any changes. It also gets some level of regulatory relief but remains under CHED's oversight to ensure quality. So let's go to the accrediting agencies in the Philippines. So there are different accrediting bodies evaluate schools in the Philippines, ensuring that institutions provide high quality education. And these are the private sector accrediting agencies such as PAASCO, or the Philippine Accrediting Association of Schools, Colleges, and Universities, PACOCOA, or the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commission on Accreditation, and also the ASCA, the Association of Christian Schools, Colleges, and University Accrediting Agency. While for the public sector accrediting agencies, and these are the AACCUP, or the Accrediting Agency of Chartered Colleges and Universities in the Philippines, and also the ALCOCOA, the Association of Local Colleges and Universities, Colleges and Universities Commission on Accreditations. And these are responsible for accrediting public universities, and colleges. So let's go to the tuition fees. So the law stipulates that any increase in tuition and other fees in all levels of education, especially in private higher education institutions, should not exceed in the prevailing national inflation rate. So this means that the rate of increase for tuition fees must align with the inflation rate from the previous years. So for example, if the inflation rate for the previous year was 4%, then the tuition fee increases for the upcoming academic year should not exceed that 4%. So this inflation rate, so the law defines the prevailing national inflation rate as the average annual headline in inflation rate at the national level from the previous year. So this helps prevent educational institutions from raising tuition and fees in a way that exceed the general economic increase, ensuring that the increases remain reasonable and manageable for students and their family. So for the consultation with stakeholders, before making any institution fees adjustment, private HEIs are required to consult with various stakeholders, including students, faculty, and other relevant groups. So this ensures that the interests of those directly affected by the changes are taken into the account. Also, it needs the approval from the CHED. Like after consultation, any proposed increase in tuition or fees must be approved by the CHED. So these steps ensure that the increases are justified and in compliance with national standards, prevent arbitrary and excessively high fee hikes. So the goal of this regulation is to balance the financial needs of the educational institution with the economic capabilities of students and their families, making higher education more affordable and accessible while still supporting the operations of HEIs. Let's go to the sexual harassment in the academe. So according to Section 3 of Republic Act number 7877 or the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995 outlines the condition under which sexual harassment is considered to have occurred in an education or training environment, and these includes the first one, the under the care, custody, or supervision of the offender. So if the person committing the harassment has some form of authority or responsibility over the victim. And also sexual favor for academic or financial benefits, like if a sexual favor is demanded in exchange for passing a grade, honors, scholarships, stipends, and also other privileges. And the third one is the intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment, where if the sexual advances create an environment that is hostile or offensive to the student, trainee, or apprentice. While the Section 4 imposes the responsibility on the employer or head of the school or head of the training establishment to take measures to prevent sexual harassment. So they must promulgate rules and regulations and also create a committee and decorum and investigation, where a committee should be set up to handle the complaints of sexual harassment and also should have work to raise awareness and prevent such incidents. While in the Section 5, it holds the head of the school or institution accountable if they are informed of sexual harassment and fail to take action. So they can be held liable for damages resulting from such acts. So for the acceptability in teacher-student context, unlike other types of sexual harassment, this law specifically addresses situation in educational or training environments like teacher to student or mentor to apprentice relationship. So who is punishable? So the law not only punishes the person directly committing sexual harassment, but also those who encourage, induce, or assist in the act. So this could include the co-conspirators or people who fail to intervene. So there are forms of sexual harassment in the academe, and these are the physical harassment, verbal harassment, and non-verbal harassment, and also the electronic harassment like sending sexually explicit mails, messages, or making unwanted phone calls. So for the investigation committee composition, the committee tasked with investigating complaints of sexual harassment should include at least one representative from the administration, one from the faculty or trainers, and one from the student or trainees. So for the consequences for the offender, if found guilty, the offender may face criminal penalties like imprisonment of 1 to 6 months or fine of 10,000 to 20,000 pesos or both. Additionally, the victim can file civil actions for damages separately from the criminal case. So this law ensures that educational and training environments are safe from harassment and that individuals in position of power are held accountable for their actions. It also empowers the institutions to take preventive measures and impose sanctions to protect their students and trainees from sexual harassment. So let's go to the drug testing for tertiary level students. So this law governing random drug testing in tertiary institution is based on two major laws, and these are the Republic Act number 722 and also the Republic Act number 9165. So the key points of this law focuses on implementing random drug testing in both public and private higher education institutions starting in 2003. So here are the laws, the important law elements. So the first one is the primary responsibility of the family, where the government acknowledges that the family, especially the parents, plays the most important role in educating their members about the harmful effects of drugs, and also the parental involvement in drug education, where schools will work closely with parents to ensure that drug prevention and education programs are effective, and also obligations of schools to ensure a drug-free environment, where schools with help from local government units and other relevant agencies are responsible for creating a safe drug-free environment for students. And also the fourth one, they focus on guidance and counseling, where if students are found using drugs, the government and schools will focus on providing support through guidance and counseling. The fifth one is the academic freedom, where the law respects the academic freedom or higher education institution, where schools have the freedom to implement random drug testing, but it should not interfere with academic function. And the sixth one is the intensification of drug education programs, where the schools will increase efforts to educate students about the dangers of drug use. The seventh one, the collaboration among stakeholders, where the random drug testing initiative is not something that schools or the government will do alone, but it will also involve cooperation from among the government, schools, students, and their parents. So the eighth one is the preventive and rehabilitation focus, where the goal of a random drug testing is primarily to prevent drug use and to help students who may be using drugs. So the law emphasizes the importance of providing treatment and rehabilitation to those students who are found to be drug users or dependents. And number 9 is the respect for privacy. Number 10 is the confidentiality of test result. And the last one, the exclusion from criminal proceedings, where this is the important also, where the results of the random drug test cannot be used in criminal proceedings. So the aim of the testing is not to punish students, but to address drug use through prevention, education, and rehabilitation. So here are the purposes of random drug testing. So the first one is to determine the prevalence of drug use among students, assess the effectiveness of prevention program, deter drug use, facilitate the rehabilitation of drug users, and also strengthen the collaboration against drug use. So the law on random drug testing in higher education institution aims to ensure drug-free environment, protect students' rights, and also focus on prevention and rehabilitation rather than punishment. So the law places responsibility on schools, government bodies, and families to work together to address the issue of drug abuse and support affected students. So let's go to the tertiary education equivalents, or the ETEEAP. So the CMO 21 series of 1997 outlines the policies and guidelines for the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program, which was established under the Executive Order 330. The aim of ETEAP is to provide the alternative pathway for individuals who have gained significant experience and skills in their respective fields but have not completed a formal college degree. So many professionals in the field like tourism and hospitality may have acquired extensive work experience but were unable to complete their formal education due to various personal, economic, or other reasons. However, these individuals have often gained valuable skills and knowledge that are highly irrelevant to their careers. So this ETEAP allows this individual to receive recognition for their experience by awarding them equivalency for a certain subject in regular college program. So as a result, they can complete their degree much more quickly than traditional students. In some cases, they may be even rewarded a full bachelor's degree without the need to take additional courses or credits. So this program is particularly beneficial for those who are highly skilled in professions but lack formal academic qualifications. It also offers a chance to earn a degree based on the knowledge they have gained through their careers, enabling them to further their education and open up new professional opportunities. Let's go to the foreign students in the Philippines. So several child memoranda have been issued to guide the processing and management of foreign students in the Philippines. So this memoranda includes the CMO 53, 7, 1, 15, and 2. So foreign students coming in the Philippines to study are typically granted a student visa. They often travel back to their home countries once or twice a year, live in a rented accommodations such as studios or apartments, and take the opportunity to visit tourist spots in the country. So before admitting or enrolling foreign students, schools are responsible for ensuring that all necessary documents are in order. So this includes the verifying validity of their visa, educational record documents, and also ensuring compliance with the regulations. So foreign students came to the Philippines for various reasons, with the top 5 motivations being, and the first one is the reasonable cost of education, proficiency in the English language, relatively good quality of education, recommendation from friends, colleagues, or relatives, and also proximity to their home country. So this system ensures that foreign students can benefit from a smooth educational experience in the Philippines, while the country also benefits from the international student presence both culturally and economically. So let's go to the conclusion. So in conclusion, the Philippines demonstrates a strong commitment to develop its tourism and hospitality workforce through a wide range of educational offerings. With over 300 institutions under the guidance of CHED and TESDA, the country consistently produces a large pool of graduates equipped and relevant skills and knowledge. So the combined output of approximately 50,000 graduates annually highlights the sector's growth and the vital role of education in meeting the evolving demands of the tourism and hospitality industry. So this trend not only supports the industry's expansion but also contributes the country's economic development and global competitiveness. So that would be all for the chapter 15 that tackles about the tourism and hospitality management education. And again, I'm Hanna Perocho from this HM3A. Thank you for listening and goodbye.